one of your guys, Clint, Democrat, said this was the best opportunity they were ever going to see. Did they say yes or did they say no?
Here's the Jewish state.
Is it a Jewish state?
Yes.
Do only Jews live there?
No.
Exactly. So
it's a Jewish state, correct? In your Constitution, it's a Jewish state. In our Constitution, are we allowed to be a Jewish state, a Christian state, any state? Congress shall pass no law in recognition of a religion.
I don't understand the point you're trying to make. I don't understand.
Him,
yeah, but what point?
Atheist,
what's the point you're trying to make?
What I'm trying to make
is atheists, Palestinians, Arabs, Muslims all live in Israel.
And if Israel was the same as the United States, if everybody was equal, you probably wouldn't be having a war.
Well, they are.
They
all live there freely.
They are because they're a Jewish state, because they're trying to enforce the
Wait, so the Jewish state is trying to enforce Jewish laws?
The Jewish people hate the Palestinians, right?
No, it's the other way around. The Palestinians hate the Jews.
Yeah,
the Jewish people have never said we want
what's
to fight.
happening in the West Bank? What's happening in the West Bank?
Well, I go back to my first question to you.
What's happening in
Gaza? See, here's the thing. You gotta remember, if you're gonna make a point, you have to back it up with something. You can't, hold on, you can't transfer it to the next talking point. So, if October 7th doesn't happen, does the war take place? The next day? Does retaliation take place?
Is that what you call it, retaliation?
Well, let me ask you a question. If I run into your house,
70,000 dead.
Well, first of all, how many died? Wait. Which army retired? Which war did you fight?
What did I fight in?
Yeah.
I served my country. I served wherever they sold.
Okay, so did you serve in active duty? Active combat?
Active duty.
Active combat?
I served twice as the first one.
Okay,
Two different companies.
Any combat? Hold on, I'm getting to a point. Any combat?
Don't worry about my record. I served where they sent.
Because what I'm asking is, in any war, there's going to be casualties, yes? So if I throw the first punch, am I likely to get beat up?
Is it okay to bomb civilians and children?
That's called war.
No, it's not.
Well, let me ask you a question. When you break through tunnels and
isn't there laws against that? Isn't there
in war?
Yes, war. Yes. I know.
Have you ever known?
When I was in the service, I was taught to Geneva.
Which says what?
Which says basically you don't attack civilians, you don't kill people.
So let me ask you a question. So every time Israel attacks, do they send out a memo saying, hey, tomorrow or 2 days from now we're going to attack, get out? Every time. Every time. Every time. Look it up. See, you can't come with, you have to have...
When they're running the West Bank to move out,
yes,
when
they're
bulldozing Palestinians' homes, they're saying...
Yes, they tell them, we're coming in 48 hours. You need to disperse.
That's good. The people who live there.
The people who live there.
The people who live in the
Get
West
vote
Bank.
for who?
It doesn't matter who they vote for.
Well, it does. If you vote for a terrorist organization,
they have an individual right to vote
they
for
do.
whoever they want.
They vote for a terrorist organization, right? So if they vote for a terrorist
organizations are able, anybody that tries to represent the Palestinian people with the Palestinian
would you
people.
go over? Would you go over to Gaza and serve? Why don't you go there and serve? Why don't you go there and support them?
Why should I go serve? I shouldn't have to go serve.
You
shouldn't have to go serve.
But if you support them, if you support them, and you believe
burn
that
out
they're
that
wrong,
film,
why,
you know.
why wouldn't you go over there?
It's full charge. It's full of charge.
It never
How long are they going out here? You got the minutes up
They
there?
would have never happened.
I'm putting it on my podcast.
Well, I mean, listen, if the Pilgrims didn't sail over here, right, the land would still be the Native Americans.
So
that's history.
So colonization's good.
Let me ask you a question. How did the world get to where we are?
There's a lot of colonization.
Exactly. So is it good or bad?
With the good or bad, I think a lot of it's bad.
So where would you be? Where are your people from? Where's your ancestors from?
I might be growing up in Germany.
So where are your ancestors from?
Where my ancestors from? Europe, probably.
So why don't you go back?
Why don't I go back there?
Yeah, you probably live in a house that's stolen land. That doesn't make any difference.
Yes, it does. Yes,
no, you're part of the colonization.
I'm going to live wherever I choose.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Whether you live on a stolen piece of land or not.
And I'm not going to go into a land and try to tell them what religion they should be.
Nobody's telling anybody that.
Sure they are. All the laws in Israel are
Jewish laws. You live in an American country, they're American laws, yeah?
Religion against American.
What religious law is in
American are all the people.
What religious law
they're that guy, they're that guy, they're that guy. That's American.
Israel's the same thing.
No, no,
It's
Israel's not
exactly
the same.
same.
No, Israel
Exactly the
is
same.
religion.
No, it's not. Israel is a country.
Well, you're right.
Judaism is a religion.
Judaism
So a Jew is not actually a nationality. Israeli is a nationality. Judaism is a religion.
Yes.
So, okay, so at least we established that. So here's the point. In Israel, you've got multi-religions living there. Muslims. Oh, yes, you do. You've got tons of religions living in Israel. Peaceful.
Yeah, maybe
Christians.
5 or one, 5 or another.
How many Jews do you know?
How many Jews?
How many Jews do you know?
You go back 50 years. How many Jews were in there? How many Palestinians? The Palestinians wholly outnumbered the Jewish people. back
Where?
then.
In Israel?
In Palestine.
Well, there was never a Palestine. There's no such thing. Look it up. There's no such thing as Palestine.
I looked it up.
They're
I see that there's
They're
a Palestine.
Jordanian.
Go Google Palestine.
Jordan.
Google Palestine. It's going to tell you.
Sir, you
something
can't, always
don't
remember. Always remember. When you do research, you can't just take the
So
point
you
of view. that
support all these killed.
I don't support killing, period. That's why I didn't support Hamas coming into
You're sending
Israel and
weapons over
murdering
there.
women
You
and
said
children.
with the weapons. You're,
Well,
you're
when there's-
sending.
when there's
you're
a war,
sending, you
when- no,
are
you're
sending.
sending them.
No,
Oh, you're an American, yes? Your government's sending.
I'm not approving it.
It doesn't matter whether you approve it or not, because don't forget, we live in a country where everybody votes, and we come to a conclusion on the vote.
You want to
Correct?
get the voting system.
Now you want to dismantle the whole voting system.
You think the voting system's good?
Well, let me ask you a
Was
question.
there a
When
problem last
somebody
night?
wins,
Are we a republic or a democracy? Which one are we?
we're a corporate.
Well, now you want to talk about something else.
We are a corporate dictatorship.
We're
The
a corporate
money,
dictatorship.
the money,
If you don't
the
like
money.
it, why do you live here?
Because I was born here, and I'm going to change it. I'm going to change
You're
it.
going to change
So
it.
it-
I'm going to
So
work to
you're
change
gonna,
it.
you're going to force
I
me
want
to live the way you want to
No,
live.
I want to force you to live the way the Constitution says.
Does that mean that Biden was voted in by?
I
Co-
am
The people,
constitutionalist.
by the people. By
Yes.
the people.
How do we do that? We
No.
vote for representatives, right? And nobody ever gets 100% of the vote, correct? Nobody does.
Right.
Right. So
You should have 50%. You should have a majority.
you do.
No, you don't.
In everything but federal elections.
No, you
In
don't.
this state, it's by majority.
No.
No, you're wrong. In this state, it's a majority election wins.
I
In
just
this
see-
state, it's a majority election.
I've just seen ghost candidates throw elections. And how can it go?
Where are
how
you
can
going
it go?
now?
How can it,
What are you talking about now?
What are
You
you
keep
talking
pivoting
about?
from point to point.
So you said the government actually, big companies actually hired. So did they do that with Biden as well? Was Biden voted in?
The fact is, 96% of the people that win elections are the people with the most money.
Okay, so Biden won with the most money.
So how do you, if you
Hold
want
on,
to
hold
run,
on.
if you want to run,
96% of the people with the most money win the elections?
yes.
Really?
So that means when Biden won, what was that? What was that? A fluke?
So you're saying,
You
are they
look at-
paying for the votes? How are they getting the
If
people
you
to
got the
vote?
money, if you got the money,
You get the votes.
if you, no,
So then you're voting
you
for the
ain't
people
listening.
with the
You
money.
ain't listening.
No, I am. How does
Okay,
it work?
listen to me.
Explain to me.
if you got the money,
Yeah.
you got the money to put the ads on television,
Yeah.
on the radio. You can bring most people.
You can brainwash
Well,
most
you
people.
can a lot of people.
Well, that didn't work for Harris, did it?
Alright.
Most
Most people. Most
work
people.
2-3 jobs.
So most people work 2 or 3 jobs.
That didn't work for
And
Harris.
they vote for whatever they hear on the radio.
Most people do not have time to look into politics. and all
Most
that.
people, so they just
They
go
have
in and
children
vote.
to raise,
So how
they
many
have
people
money to
live in the
pay.
United States?
Why you always talk when I'm trying to talk?
Well, because you're not making any sense.
Because you're not listening.
You
Sir,
don't make a point.
I'm making a point.
Harris
I
just spent
told you
$1
you
billion.
just
She didn't
Money
win.
win the election.
With the
So
election.
your candidate for president
You
has spent
look around.
$2 billion and didn't
You're
win.
owned by APEC, right?
I'm owned?
Yes.
He's not owned by anyone.
I'm a citizen
But
of the sovereign state of Florida.
You do whatever they tell you to do. You're
No,
a
I
puppet.
do what I decide to do.
You're anti-American.
I'm
corporate-
anti-American.
Anti-American party puppet.
How am
You're
I
a party
anti?
puppet.
So
You
what are
follow
you?
your party.
What are you?
What am I?
Yeah.
I'm no party affiliate. I'm an American.
You're
I
a
am
new
American.
party affiliate.
No,
So
no party.
You're a puppet of your new party.
No, I'm not. I'm
You're not a puppet. Everybody.
So
else
you're
is
not a
puppet,
Republican
but
or a
you're-
Democrat.
I vote for whoever I think is best. I
Oh,
don't have
wait
to
a minute,
follow.
wait a minute. So
I don't
you
follow
vote
what the
for whoever you
Republicans
think
tell
is
me.
best.
I don't follow
I
the
vote.
Democrats.
I vote for whoever I think is best.
No, you follow your party. You follow your party. You're a party.
Sure.
Do you know him,
have
sir?
Never
You
met me
are-
before. You want to sit down and go to lunch? I'll
Right,
explain
yeah.
who I vote for and why.
Go to lunch
I'll take you to
anytime.
lunch, absolutely.
Anytime.
But you got to understand, I vote for who I believe is the best candidate based on my views and how their views align with my
Vote
views.
for your party.
You don't know him, sir.
I vote.
Yes, I do.
No, you
vote
don't.
For whomever
What's his middle name?
Listen,
What's my middle name?
I don't know you, sir.
I have no problem.
Nor do I claim to, but you said you know him.
I have no problem.
What's
So
his
if
name?
I don't know his middle name, that means I don't know.
Okay, what's his first name? What's his first name?
Brian.
Brian?
You are, let me tell you.
What?
I'm not
It-
playing mass, buddy.
As you
I'm
can
just
see,
a
he's got
citizen.
real legs.
I'm just a citizen.
He's
dude.
got real
You
legs.
don't even know who you're talking to. That's what's scary. You have no idea who you're talking to.
And if it was about the money, sir, Harris would have won because she had $1 billion that she blew through.
So you're just painting everybody with the same brush.
So what are you? Who are you?
What are you and who are you? Now you ask him after all this.
Wait, what's interesting is you're asking me who I am and how I vote. That's none of your business. That's why you go in the booth and you have anonymity.
It's none of my business. I'm a citizen.
It's none of
How
your
you
business.
vote?
How he votes?
I vote how
He's
I
a
vote.
private
I
citizen.
don't care how you vote. I don't care how you vote.
How you vote is none of my business.
No.
Why would it be?
I'm a citizen.
How you
But-
vote is your business.
It's none of my business how you vote, sir. No, he's
I'm
not.
just a citizen.
He's just a citizen, sir. Just like me.
just a citizen like you.
Okay, why you pretend to be somebody who's not?
Why? Because he's in a shirt?
What do you mean? I pretended to be somebody I was not?
Oh, maybe it's the haircut.
Tell me about
Maybe it's the haircut.
How you vote on different issues.
When did I tell you how I vote how I believe for
He-
the candidate I believe in who aligns with whatever I believe?
He clearly said that. He said he believes.
I support
Okay,
Right.
good.
But-
So you don't need to know.
So we're on
who
the
I
same
vote or who I
page.
vote for.
what's wrong with this sign?
Why? There's nothing wrong with your sign. You can have any sign you want. I just asked you what
Do you
genocide.
disagree with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Well, because again, you won't answer the point. If Hamas doesn't attack Israel, Israel doesn't do anything.
If Israel doesn't attack Hamas and take over its land, Hamas would be.
They never.
Sir, if I attacked you, would you come after me?
Every war in the Middle East had none of it. Israel is retaliatory. They don't attack anybody. They retaliate.
They've been kicking people out of their homes for decades.
What are you talking about?
They've been taking over land. How they take
What
over?
land?
How many times have you been there, sir?
Israel? Why is Palestine?
Great.
Palestine.
Let's go back to
Palestine.
history.
It's
So, how
Palestine.
did Israel get created? Who owned that land?
Who owned
I'll
it?
give you plenty of time. Who was in control of that
I'll
area?
tell you who they thought. England. Supposed
Not supposedly, not thought. They were.
No.
They were. They were. Right? So they were in
How
charge
can
of
they
that
own
area.
something that other people occupy?
Well,
Well, the English used to own
the
here until we fought the
American Indians actually even owned here.
American, there you go.
Yeah, there you
American
go.
Indians.
And how did
owned
the
Okay.
world get created? Sadly, some people came and took what other people had. That's how the world got to where it is.
So you say sadly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
but
think
but it's not sadly when the Jewish people took over the Palestinian
they
land.
didn't. That wasn't Palestinian land. Look up history. There is no Palestine.
But it
That
was,
was
the
English
Palestinian
land.
people living there.
Palestinian people come from Jordan.
Palestinian people come from
Now it's
They're
time to
not
go blow the
There's
horn.
no Palestine.
So nobody
It's
lived
Jordan.
there.
They're
Nobody lived there.
Jordanians.
Nobody lived there.
They're Jordanians. And then when you're offered, if you live in the woods and have no house, and somebody comes in and offers you a house, would you say no?
Palestinians, it's been known as Palestinians.
No,
You
it
go back-
hasn't.
Google it. Google it.
You keep going to Google. They're from Jordan.
By the way, Google's a multi-billion-dollar company. They must have also had something to
We're okay with a
do.
multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Oh no, that's
Check with anybody.
Yes, I will sit down with you and show you the fact check.
So,
So again,
Palestinian people never lived
Again, listen.
before the
Palestinian
Jewish
never
came.
people lived
Who
where?
occupied that area before?
The English controlled it. The English controlled it. England
English
controlled
controlled
it.
it, sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
But who do they control?
Arabs. Look it up.
And Arabs. Arabs are what? And Arabs are not
Arabs
Jews.
are.
Or
There are
Arab-
plenty of
You
Arabs.
just said it. Arabs.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you, there
Arabs.
are plenty of Arabs living in Israel.
I know there is.
Yeah, okay.
But Arabs are not Jewish.
They don't have to be.
What- yeah, what is that?
You said, well, you already said it. That Arabs occupy that area, and they're
Many-
not
no, no.
Jewish.
Many people
Why is it
occupied
Jewish
that area.
state now?
Because it was
What?
created by the world to give the Jews a state. And then the
Because
world
they
tried
felt sorry
and then,
for what happened to
and then,
Jews.
and then the Jew, and then they tried to give the Palestinians
they
a
felt
state,
sorry for
and
what
the
happened to Jews
Palestinians said,
in Germany.
and then the
I
Palestinians said
understand that.
no.
I've been to Dachau. I've been over there in Germany. I've seen what happened to Jewish people.
Do you think
And
it was right?
No, it wasn't right.
Okay,
no,
so let me
right.
ask you a
But you
question.
don't turn around and make a Jewish state.
Why not?
Because that's against our Constitution.
Is it?
We didn't do it. The world collectively did
We're
it together.
supporting it though. If we're supporting it, we're endorsing it.
So then we supported giving the Palestinians a state, but they said no.
We're not supporting it.
We did.
Well,
Our president said it out.
Palestinians are not a religion.
What does religion have to do with it? Palestinians want a state. We tried to give them a
Congress shall
state.
pass no law in recognition of a religion. Religion.
So Congress
That
isn't
doesn't
passing
take
any laws.
Palestinians. That doesn't
doesn't-
take people.
Congress not passing any laws on religion.
I wonder why in a dollar bill it says "In God We Trust."
Not passing any
And
laws about religion.
that's why we have avoided civil war for so many times. And there's a movement now of people want to make this a Christian nation.
Well, I don't think there's a movement to make it a Christian nation. It's
Oh, yes,
founded
there
on
is.
Christian
Yes,
values.
It is.
correct?
It is.
No.
Well,
Yes,
wait
it-
a minute. Wait a
no.
minute. If you really
the values-
serve,
Christianity.
if you really serve, then you know that the country was founded on Christian values.
The people came here leaving
Yes.
the churches
Yes.
of Europe.
What
They didn't
church?
come here.
What church in England? did
Whatever,
they leave?
whatever they were
What, they
leaving,
left the
were
Church of England
leaving-
because they
were
couldn't
leaving-
practice
they
their
were
faith,
leaving.
right?
And when
So
they
came
came
here. Who were
and
the
they-
pilgrims?
And when they came
What
here-
were they? See, you don't know your
Yes,
history.
yes, I
You have no clue.
The
It's
pilgrims,
sad
they were all
that you've
pilgrims.
gotten
They're
to
all
this
people that
age.
got on the boat.
It's sad that you've
They're
gotten to
all
this
different
age,
people.
and now
They're
you
all
just listen
different
to
people.
whatever garbage people
They're
spew
all
at you.
different people. They're all different
They were
people.
predominantly Christians. I don't know what to tell you.
So why they pass a law that Congress shall pass no
To discriminate against religion.
yeah,
Right. To
Right, so-
discriminate.
so-
So
so-
you could practice any religion here you want.
or not practice.
Or not
Right.
practice.
Atheism.
Yeah.
Right.
Say-
And
mind you,
everybody
let me
was-
give you
and
another
everybody
example.
was equal.
Same thing in Israel. You can practice any religion you want. Any religion you want.
That's a
in
fact.
Israel.
Oh, bullshit.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So what do you know?
They say to a certain extent. that-
Oh,
but
they say to a certain extent.
they don't.
If the
They
Palestinians would
already-
stop attacking them, they wouldn't do anything.